Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, August 17th, 2018. Welcome to another eBay video. Today we're going to be discussing seller metrics and what you should or should not be concerned about. We're also going to be back and I'm going to show you another installment of the Bad eBay Sellers Hall of Shame. We're also going to discuss your comments, questions, and concerns from last week's video. So that being said, let's get right into it now. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Joe DeMarco. I've been making eBay videos since 2007, every Friday night, telling you guys the trials and tribulations of selling on eBay and trying to help you guys increase your sales. I am a top-rated seller, top-rated plus seller, with 100% feedback. So yeah, let's get started with your questions, comments, and concerns from last week's video. Your comments last week were really good. So there's quite a few that I'd like to read, so bear with me. A few of them are kind of long, but they're really important and I need to talk about them. So let's get started. The first one is about bad buyers, and it's from Debbie Keith. And she writes, "Hi Joe, I came across one of the buyers that habitually leaves negative feedback for sellers just this week. He took advantage of free returns to send a different shirt back to me. I reported what he did to eBay because I really didn't want to return any money to him, but in accordance with the free returns policy that I opted into, I contacted him about what he did and only offered a partial refund for that. Because he opened an item not as described case, eBay sided with him and took the money out of my account, and he left negative feedback for me. I contested it with 3 different eBay reps. I did my research and saw that he was one of these buyers that pulls the whole negative feedback thing unless the seller complies with his request for a full refund after his scam. After many hours on the phone with eBay, I was able to get the decision reversed. I had felt that eBay betrayed me by saying that they would have our backs if we opted into free returns. I have to say that it was a ton of work and it took hours of my time to get the decision reversed. But I feel that part of how I got it reversed is by bringing the feedback that he has left for other sellers to eBay's attention. Anyway, free returns aren't good for sellers, especially with buyers that file fake item not as described cases. I opted out of free returns with this sale. I have been selling on eBay since 2003, and this is the first negative I've ever received since opting into free returns. It hasn't taken long to see that free returns can be a very bad thing, and if other sellers haven't experienced this yet, eventually they will have to fight a case like this or fall prey to the scammer's demands. In any event, I didn't see opting into free returns as giving me a boost in store exposure either. Thanks for all you do, Joe." Very important facts there. Guys, I have been saying this for weeks, if not months. I do not recommend free returns, period. I'm a top-rated plus seller, and I'm not opting into it. And you know me. You know me. I am the biggest eBay fan around. But if there's something that doesn't work, I'm going to come out here and say it. And I once again repeat, I do not recommend any seller into opting into free returns. But again, you do what works for you. On seller metrics, Straight Edge Cards wrote, "Joe, I believe you have that collectibles in your service metrics, and this is just a theory now. I believe that you must have sold something and listed something in collectibles at one point in your career while being a seller at one point. Didn't I hear you a while back, like 5 or 6 years ago, say you sell sports cards at one point? Maybe that's why you have that in your category metrics. Please let me know what you think about this theory." He is correct. I also sell Hess toy trucks around Christmas time, and that is why the collectibles category took precedence over eBay Motors. They're doing it alphabetically. But as I said in last week's video, I have contacted the team that handles the seller metrics, and I'm trying to get them to change it to the default category where you do most of your business in, and I've been told that is coming down the road, so hang on for that. Electric Swede wrote in about the new shipping page. Joe, how do you feel about the new shipping page? I am not a fan. No FedEx link. Also, eBay puts how much a seller paid for shipping on the label. I didn't see a button to take off shipping paid like there was on the old page. I try to overcharge on each one a little just to cover eBay shipping fees. Already had a buyer complain stating I overcharged them. Left me a neutral feedback. I'm now using the old page, but who knows how long that will last. I have had quite a few people complain about the new eBay shipping page. Luckily, I'm still using the old page like the Electric Swede. From what I've heard, I do not like the new eBay shipping page, and I have not yet tried it out. Right now, I'm still running with the old one. On reserve auctions, Rainmaker89 wrote, I have never once bought something from eBay when it was a reserve auction. Many times I have clicked on the auction, which seems to be a good price, like you, Joe, only to see it's a reserve auction, which makes me immediately click away from it. If you're afraid of an item selling for less than the price you're hoping for, list it as buy it now. Thanks for the warning about the fishy buyer too. Great video as always. Right? Reserve auctions are terrible. I have nothing but disdain for them. Let me stop for a moment, if I may, and take a drink from the Fox News Cup of Life. This is the Fox News Cup of Life. Happy is he who drinks from it. Oh yeah, very good. On payment methods, Skinny Cow wrote, regarding PayPal, PayPal is not perfect, but it's a darn sight better than it was, say, 7 or 8 years ago. I think eBay customers have gotten used to PayPal as well as sellers. Now PayPal is running better than it did in the past. eBay's going to move to another payment processor. I can't say I think this will end well for eBay sellers or buyers. And I'm in agreement there. The old saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. St. Paul MN seller wrote, Joe, regarding your conference call with eBay executives about the new payment system, please be cautious. eBay wants to convince you to switch to the new system and obtain your approval or blessing because you have juice with loads of eBay sellers. If you remember eBay trying to develop a payment system back around 2000 to compete against PayPal, that failed and they eventually bought PayPal and dumped their system. This could be a similar repeat scenario. Plus, if a seller can't use the global shipping program with the new payment system, how is that beneficial to sellers? Okay, he's got a couple of points here I want to address. In last week's video, you may remember me talking about that I had an appointment to meet later on Friday with the team that was handling the new payment rollout. Well, I did, in fact, have a conference call with them. I was a little surprised at what transpired. I was expecting a group conference call with a bunch of top-rated sellers like myself talking to the payments team. But it wasn't like that. It was one-on-one. Here's how it worked. eBay selected a small group of top-rated plus sellers that they chose because they thought we would be a good fit to the new payment system. And we conference called with them for half an hour, where each of us got to spoke to 2 representatives from payments. And they tried to discuss the system, what's beneficial about it, and of course try to get us to see any benefits that this system might have. Now, I spoke to them for half an hour, and I told you I would report exactly what I discussed, and I'm going to do that right this second before I read any more of your comments. As you know, guys, I went into the conversation very skeptical and leery of the new payment system. I came out of the conversation the same way. Basically, all they did was rehash what the system is like, and you will not be able to participate in the global shipping program if you opt into the beta payment system right now, which is obviously bad for sellers in my opinion, because I'm in the global shipping program. You will also not be able to take PayPal. That's bad too. A lot of people like PayPal and want to pay with PayPal. And number 3, if you do opt in and you experience a big decrease in sales, too bad. you're stuck. Once in, never out. Now, the two reps I spoke to were very nice and cordial, and I explained my reservations about the program. And they were very blunt, and they said, quite frankly, this will not work for every seller. But they did try and extol its virtues to me in hopes of getting me to sign up. And I thanked them for the time they spent talking to me. They were very nice, as I said. I have no problem with that. But at this time, I reiterate, I will not be signing up, and I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel. I have to do what I think is best for my business. Now, St. Paul MN seller also said that he thinks they're trying to switch me over or to get me to upsell the program because they think I have some juice. And that brings up another topic that I want to jump into that I haven't discussed before. But periodically, eBay does ask some of its top-rated plus sellers to come in and give their opinions on certain eBay issues. Since I'm very close right here in New York City, they have asked me several times to go in and give my opinion. In fact, I was just there recently. I just never mentioned it to you guys. Let me now stop and do a quick cutaway, and you guys can see what that was like. Bang. Guys, from time to time, I and some other eBay top-rated plus sellers are asked to speak at various functions to the eBay teams and answer some of the questions they have. In this particular screenshot, you can see myself, well, actually from left to right, Christine, myself, and Kathy Terrell were at eBay headquarters here in New York City, and we were talking to one of the product development teams, specifically promotions. Basically how it works is the three of us would sit in the front of the room and we would be interviewed by an eBay executive. In this case, it was Sunil, who you can see on the right. To the left, out of camera shot, are the eBay employees that are giving us questions and listening to what we have to say. If you look at the screen on the top left, this was being simulcast to eBay employees all over the world, including San Francisco and even out of the country. The reason for this is eBay occasionally brings in some of its top-rated plus sellers to get our ideas and our feedback on certain eBay promotions or certain eBay changes. If any of you are ever asked or invited to participate in any of these seminars, I strongly suggest you do it. Because number one, you will be representing the eBay sellers like yourself, and you're getting a chance to be heard, and you're getting a chance to make connections with people who count. Guys, let's get back to the video now. I just hope this was helpful to you, because I want to instill in you to be a participant in eBay. Do what you can. A lot of the things that are going on right now are causing turmoil. So if eBay does reach out to you and ask you your opinion, please agree to participate and give it. Back to the video. So yeah, guys, I thought that this might be a good time to post that because I am in direct communication with eBay, and as you can see, they do listen, okay? Now, I know a lot of you are going to break chops about this and say, well, right now there's a lot of issues with eBay. Yes, correct. But that's why I go into New York City and talk to them one-on-one to try and get them to change their perspectives on certain things. I'll come back to that a little later in the video when we talk about seller metrics. On bad eBay sellers, Rowdy Romantic wrote, Joe, I hope you can ask eBay to review and delete all the negatives from most likely good eBay sellers. He's talking about the eBay seller I showed you last week who was leaving negatives for all the good sellers. I will not be opting into the new payment option. Also, something is wrong with the search over the last 2 days. I search for items like mine and completely unrelated items show up. Has anyone else noticed? Literally, I was looking for information on a trumpet horn with a specific name, and I was getting information on a car horn. I was looking for information regarding a porcelain antique figurine that is a coach and horse figure, and I got coach handbags. Yes, correct. I've noticed that myself. I've noticed two issues. If I try and search on my phone using the picture match feature, that never comes out right. Maybe because I'm in eBay Motors. And secondly, I've noticed on eBay Motors with fitment, let's say I type in, for instance, off the top of my head, El Dorado hubcaps. I will get a list, of course, of the cheap China crap that doesn't even fit an El Dorado. And the reason I believe that is because the sellers, not eBay, the sellers have checked off many, many vehicles that they're claiming their items will fit, even though their items will not fit those vehicles, if that makes any sense to you. So what I'm thinking happened to you, Rowdy Romantic, is that you were searching for a certain thing, a car horn, and whatever seller you clicked on or found actually had sold something close to that, but when they relisted the trumpet or whatever it was, they did not change their item specifics. That's just my theory anyway. Moving right on, Red Neckerson's Resales wrote, Joe, do you need me to send you a birdhouse? And there was a follow-up comment by Skinny Cow, that poll is beginning to disturb me mentally each week. Also, it's turning me fitchy. Ha 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 ha! Well, as I said, anybody sends me a birdhouse, I will definitely mount it. I need to get a new base. I'm going to mount a new base on there, and I'll gladly mount your birdhouse on it and give you a shout out. On a bad buyer, St. Paul MN Seller wrote, Joe, I have seen tons of buyers with a sea of red on their feedback received, but never leave anything like that fitchy buyer with negatives on feedback given. I am appalled that eBay has not terminated that fitchy buyer. Again, he's referring to the buyer last week that I showed you guys. Also on that same guy, one Dan wrote in and said, thank you for showing the buyer's username. He's blocked. But come on, how on earth is this allowed to continue? All of his feedback should be removed, and he should no longer be allowed to leave feedback on eBay ever again. eBay leans so hard on the side of buyers, they won't stand up to these clowns. Also on the bad buyer, Sharky 1967 wrote, my jaw literally dropped when you showed us the feedback account of that buyer. I think we can all agree that the person just enjoys leaving nega-fitches for the fun of it. But for the sake of argument, if that person was truly that dissatisfied with all of their eBay purchases, why in the world would they keep buying on there? That alone says that they're just a sour person who's so unhappy in their own life, they feel like the need to spread the hate. That son of a fitch definitely needs to be kicked off eBay. And the last comment on that, Barry D wrote, Joe, you need to do a follow-up video showing people how to block a buyer like Helen Lane. Okay, a couple of things there. Blocking a buyer is very, very easy. I've done videos on it before. Just go to your seller hub, scroll down on the left, and you'll see a link that says block buyers. Click on that, bang, you can block the guy very easily. I gotta stop again. I need another glass of water from the Fox News cup. Oh, life, right here. Now, several people have written in and asked me if I'm going to contact eBay about that bad eBay buyer that I showed you last week, and the answer is no. Two reasons. One, he didn't dick me over. He didn't leave me a neg. And two is I'm actually running a social experiment. I want to see how long it takes eBay to do it on their own. So I have no intention of contacting eBay on that particular person, even though I really want to. It's a social experiment I'm running, and I want to see how this works out. I will now segue into the bad eBay Sellers Hall of Shame. As you guys know, in the past, I have always called it the bad eBay Sellers Hall of Shame. But, as you can hear, these landscapers are starting it again over here. I swear to Christ, man, these guys work every day. But I'm going to change the name from the Bad eBay Sellers Hall of Shame to the Fishy eBay Sellers Hall of Shame as of now. That being said, let us now take a look at the Fishy eBay Sellers Hall of Shame! Welcome to the eBay Bad Sellers Hall of Shame, now known as the Fishy Sellers Hall of Shame. This particular item appeared in a Facebook post the other day, and it drew many responses, and I want to share it with you. Here you can see there is a seller who is selling a quantity of 100 USPS priority mailer padded bubble flat rate envelopes. You'll notice that I have wiped out the seller's name for privacy reasons, but I'm sure that somebody will figure out who it is. But my point is, the discussion came up in the Facebook groups, is this or is this not a federal violation? Is this considered misuse of U.S. government property? Because when you order these things online, you must sign off that you are not going to misuse them and use them only for the appropriate use. So that's the situation we have here. These are free to all people who are going to use them to ship their supplies through priority mail. Yet, you can clearly see 4 of these things sold. I can't believe it. While I was researching this, I came upon something else. Let me show you this one. Now, this one really confounds me. The title says, Upgrade to Priority Mail for Small Flat Rate Box, 3 business day delivery. 10 available. $4.50 each. What exactly are you getting for $4.50? Can anybody figure this out? Are you getting 1 box? I don't get it. This is very unclear to me. It says there are 10 available, 10 have been sold, but I honestly do not understand what this person is selling. They are not selling the shipping per se, because in the bottom in the disclaimer it says that you're not getting the shipping. I would like to have shown you a screenshot of that, but because I'm doing it this way I really couldn't, because I wanted to wipe out the seller's ID once again. So I figured I would show you this one too, because once again, all you guys know that these boxes are free to all of us as long as we're using them to ship through the United States Post Office. And I don't see how anybody gets to charge for these things. Is this or is this not a federal violation in your opinion? Please comment below, and let's get back to the video. Okay, so there you have it. That was this week's installment of the Fishiest eBay Seller. I'd like your guys' opinion on that particular listing. Do you think it's a federal violation to list USPS priority shipping supplies? This was actually a huge thread in one of the Facebook groups. Somebody else posted it and I found it, and we got into a really long discussion. And just about everybody agrees that it's a huge violation. I would like your opinion. What do you think about that listing? Violation or not? Now on to seller metrics. A lot of you guys are really worried about seller metrics. Very concerned about them. Let me tell you something about seller metrics. There are only 2 possible factors that can hurt an eBay seller. Number 1, item not received. Now that, truthfully, should not hurt any of you guys watching this video, because all you have to do is purchase your labels from eBay, and the tracking number is automatically uploaded. If for some reason you choose not to, and maybe you buy your labels at the post office or whatever, then just manually upload them. As long as the tracking shows that the item was delivered to your customer, you are safe. As you guys know, in the past, it's happened to me several times where people filed item not received cases against me, and the tracking showed delivered, and eBay covered me every time. Now the second possibility where you could get a defect in seller metrics is for item not as described. Here's where we do have a problem, in my opinion. Now let's say you sell somebody an item and they try and pull a fast one. It's probably not going to happen that often, hopefully, but it could happen. And it has happened to some people. You sell an item to somebody, they claim item not as described, even though it was described, and you have right in black and white in eBay messages that they made a mistake. They admit it. They bought the wrong size. As I've said before, if you call eBay, they will make you print out a label and send it to the buyer. And once the buyer returns the item to you, eBay will give you a courtesy refund because they know it's the buyer's fault and not yours. However, that will still count as a defect in your seller metrics. All right? I myself don't think it's fair, and a lot of my friends don't think it's fair. So, a friend of mine contacted eBay, somebody high on the food chain, and basically brought this up. Met with the eBay team in person right here in New York City and said, listen, we have a situation. We as sellers don't think that's fair, and we respectfully want you to look at this. And the eBay team came back and said, we are absolutely not going to change our way of doing business, because although you will get occasional defects that you are not deserving of, so will everybody else. So down the road, it's going to even out. This is their theory. This is not my theory. I think you know how I stand on this. Again, eBay is saying that let's say I get 2 item not as described cases this month that are not my fault, and it shows in eBay messages it's not my fault. Although eBay will reimburse me for the shipping, the defect will still count in my seller metrics, because they claim that although I got 2 undeserving ones, many other people, in fact most other people, will get the same, and it will offset somewhere down the road. This is their prevailing theory. I'm not very worried about it, although I don't like it. The thing is, I do get my share of returns, but most of my customers are honest people, not fishy people. Yes, I do occasionally encounter a fishy buyer, but not that often. You guys do too. So they're saying it's going to equal out down the road somewhere, the cost of doing business or whatever. All right, that being said, let's start wrapping this up. Guys, please leave any comments, questions, and concerns you have from any topic I covered today or any other eBay topic. As you know, I will do my best to cover your concerns in next week's video. I'm Crazy New York Driver, and you're not. I am a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind, and I'm still making money online. I make these videos every single Friday to try and help you guys succeed on eBay. If you think I'm doing a good job, please leave me a thumbs up. It shows I'm appreciated, I'm on the right track. If not, if you don't think I did a good job, tell me in the comments section what you want me to cover next week, and who knows, I may well be reading your comment. Guys, thanks for watching. Hope you make a good sales week on eBay today. The end of the summer is here, so it's going to be a little slow. Be prepared for that. But please, guys, please, please, just remember these 3 words. Don't be fishy! Yeah! Oh, I love it.